Imagine a man for whom all the restraints of law and custom and political order are taken away. He can have whatever he wants. He can have all the money in the world. That's not an exaggeration. All the money in the world. If he wants it, he can just collect it all. He can have sex with anyone he wants, whenever he wants, under any circumstances. If a man, under those circumstances, behaves well, you know something about the soul underneath, because no external constraint is making him do it.
Marcus Aurelius wasn't an ordinary man, and in fact, he was a man of principle. He prepared in the morning for the day to come with a stoic routine, and at night, reflected on any wrongdoings and bad thoughts he had throughout the day. And in doing so, he accidentally created the most powerful book on the planet, Meditations. I became fascinated with Meditations a few years ago, and ever since I have read it daily. Over the course of the last few months, however, I compiled all of the important notes about all of the important passages that I had in Meditations. And there were a lot of passages. However, 4 passages stood out, 4 passages that were different from the rest. Here are those 4 life-changing quotes from Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, with the latter 2 being the most impactful. Quote number 1, in passage 3.7, Marcus Aurelius says the following: "Never regard something as doing you good if it makes you betray a trust, or lose your sense of shame, or makes you show hatred, suspicion, ill will, or hypocrisy, or a desire for things best done behind closed doors." Just as a quick note, he wrote these passages to himself, so he wasn't really advertising anything, no courses or none of that stuff. It was a man simply talking to himself, critiquing himself. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor, which meant that 24/7 he was in the spotlight, so he knew that he had to tread carefully. Whatever he did, said, etc. could be used against him, which is why this is powerful quote number 1. The most powerful man, or what was once the most powerful man on the planet, is telling you exactly what's good and bad for you, because he's lived the experience. If anything you do makes you lose your sense of shame, makes you hate something, or most importantly, makes you do it behind closed doors just because of its nature, that action most likely harms you in the long run, because nothing good ever comes out of betrayal or losing your sense of shame. Removing these acts assists you into becoming a better person throughout your days. Quote 2, passage 7.14, Marcus Aurelius said the following: "Let it happen, if it wants, to whatever it can happen to, and what's affected can complain about it if it wants. It doesn't hurt me unless I interpret its happening as harmful to me. I can choose not to." Things in our lives constantly change, things constantly leave, and things constantly arise. As a result of this, these things may not be in our favor, but that doesn't mean that you should complain. Sure, it may be difficult, but exactly like the Stoics always said, there is always a choice in everything that we do. We can choose not to be hurt by things that arise and leave. Complaining won't get us anywhere, and it won't allow us to take proper action. By not allowing ourselves to complain or to be hurt, we consistently move forward in progression rather than idling still. Quote number 3, passage 8.36, Marcus Aurelius said the following: "Don't let your imagination be crushed by life as a whole. Don't try to picture everything bad that can possibly happen. Stick with the situation at hand and ask, why is this so unbearable? Why can't I endure it? You'll be embarrassed to answer." The human body is much more capable than the mind actually thinks. We tend to give out mentally before we actually give out physically. And that's where Marcus Aurelius finds the pinpoint and emphasizes on it. Talk out loud and truly ask yourself why you can't do what you're doing, or why you can't do what you're about to do. Most of the time, it's just a mundane excuse that can be corrected with just a little bit of discipline. Don't overthink on the extremities of the situation, and instead ground yourself to reality and ask yourself, is this something I genuinely can't endure? Or is this something that I'm complaining about because of the unbearableness of its difficulty? And finally, the most important quote that I truly believe has changed my life. Quote number 4, passage 6.2, Marcus Aurelius said the following: "Just that you do the right thing, the rest doesn't matter. Cold or warm, tired or well rested, despised or honored. The variability of this quote can be adapted to any situation. You need to do the right thing, and you typically know what the right thing is most of the time. And this variability typically changes with our states of conditioning that are also constantly changing. Cold or warm, tired or well rested, despised or well honored. These can change to whatever we need to, dependent on the condition that we're in. Sore or energetic, aroused or not aroused, headache or no headache, hungry or well fed. That's the beauty of this quote. It can be applied to so many situations, and in each situation, doing the right thing is what matters most. We're always at a crossroads every single day because of the decisions we have to make, and this quote allows us to find the right decision. Even though I read Meditations more than probably 20 times, I'm still going to continue reading it. It's a life-changing book made by a life-changing man, and the beauty of it all is that the quotes that I listed today may not be your most life-changing quotes. If you read the book, you may find something that just completely outweighs everything and is the one single thing that changes your entire perspective. But who knows, right? You need to read the book first. Thank you for joining me on this journey of learning, and remember, be stoic among the chaos.